Well, it is great to be here. Being the first guy up here, it's always just a great time of year, starting a new football season and be able to come down here, see some familiar faces, talk about a great conference, and obviously we feel awesome about our university at Oregon State and some good people around. So like I said, it's a great time of year. 18 months on the job now or so, and we feel pretty confident that we've improved. Going into our second year, the development that's taken place on really both sides of the ball, changing the roster a little bit into year two, and really excited about some of the talent we've got coming back. Proud of the two guys I brought down here with us, Jamar Jefferson, kind of his backyard down here, our running back, and Isaiah Hodgins, really productive receiver for us last year. Those two do a great job on and off the field. Got a bunch of talent and great guys to talk to. So, the development continues, and we're confident in this league. It's competitive. There's some good players in this league. There's some good coaches in this league, and we feel like we're right there with them. And our roster is built to last over the last couple of years, and we're looking forward to year two, like I said. Questions?
In the back of the room are the student athletes and the coaches here, so please gather around. Questions for coach or the student athletes. So come on up.
Man from the start.
Hey, Coach, you guys were a lot of fun on offense. How much better is the defense?
I think we're better. Some of it, you've got some young players that developed over a year and going into year two with that. Got some new talent that wasn't eligible to play last year. From Addison Guns, outside linebacker, Avery Roberts, a couple of junior college defensive linemen. We needed help there. And we got it with Jordan Whitley. Had an awesome spring. Simon Sandberg is going to help us there. I think we're returning a good amount in the secondary. And some of those guys were young. I think about Caleb Hayes, his corner, played as a redshirt freshman. But he gained all that experience. He's got a good chance, had a good spring. So I feel like we'll be better. Yeah. They're right on pace. Simon's pretty much going full go already. And Gums on time to be available start of September, get a good amount of camp. Probably not full go the first day of camp, but by the end of it, we anticipate ready. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we got to be able to rush the passer, and I think he's got that skill set. I will say, I think we've got some depth in that room. Like, we played John McCartan and Matthew Toggle last year as true freshmen, and they had some ups and downs, did some good stuff. But they're in year two, they're going to be better, and then you throw in Gums with Ham, Anjay. So I think we got some depth at the position. I think it's part of that culture is lay out some expectations, and then you hold them accountable to it. Some of that expectation is the work ethic you put in. It's not just at the player, it's all of us in it together. I think huge for us in rebuilding the program is continuity, and we got that 9 out of 10 coaches coming back. That was big, so it's really similar schemes, consistent schemes, the way they're getting taught. And not only the way they're getting taught, but you just know your players better if you're there longer. And we've got that going. So that's why I feel confident in year two we'll say that again. What do you mean? you got to have your eye on it on the day to day. You really do. And so I think the consistency of holding guys accountable and really doing stuff the same over a long period of time, and then small things turn into big things in a hurry, especially when you're dealing with 100 athletes and a large football staff. So you got to keep your eye on it daily.
Jonathan, in terms of just being a head coach, can you just talk about how difficult last season was, just settling into your alma mater, having a tough year on the field, and then what's the optimism you have surrounding this season?
It's tough the way on Saturdays, because you're a competitive guy, right? But at the same time, we kind of knew what we were getting into, and it wasn't, this league's competitive. It wasn't just going to flip in year one, and so we're taking a long-term approach on it. And so I was optimistic on some things last year too, on the way guys continued to compete throughout. Guys got better. We got some good young talent, but just knowing that these things aren't that easy to flip in just 1 year.
And then offensively, can you just talk about what you expect from Jake coming back in his sixth season?
Yeah, we're expecting big things from him, and he's got a ton of experience. He's got some real talent. Love where the approach he's taken really since January. Finished the year, got into the weight room, changed his body, the way he did spring ball, not just his talent level and the way he's playing, but leadership role, connecting with the guys, and he's got some weapons around him.
Crucial is him staying healthy for your success.
Sure, huge, but I will say I think we got some depth in that room. I think we can score some points with Tristan, and so we want to keep everybody healthy. I think as much as healthy, we want to keep them upright. We got to bring our sack totals down. That gives Jake a chance to throw it. Yeah, it's it's another avenue that maybe 5 years ago wasn't there, and so as you're building the roster in the recruiting part, you're thinking of the age or the position you need, high school, junior college, and then there's this other avenue. But also, it's not just on like how you're trying to add some subtraction, right? Leaving your place, and so what I'm getting there is the numbers on how many you can bring in. That's always fluctuating with guys exiting as well.
Where are you with the portal issue? Where are you on both the issue of there are some who advocate for the immediate eligibility, for a one-time immediate eligibility, with even within the same conference. There are others who say that would open Pandora's box and what have you.
The thing I heard and I'm into is you sit a year, but more or less you graduate on time, you get that year back. I had heard, I don't remember who was talking about it. I'm into that kind of thought. I think there should be, you go somewhere, you should sit a year, but have the opportunity to get it back if you finish your degree.
The AFCA has also been taking on standardized injury reporting as an issue. Where are you as far as if that ever comes to fruition, especially with sports gambling being more prevalent? It is coming to the state of Oregon, not for college sports yet, but
there's a huge can of worms with that. I know, there's a huge can of worms with that. I'm into a uniform, everyone doing it the same way. I think some of the problems come is that people are doing it differently because they can right now. Like I can decide what I want to say or what not, and but it's a slippery slope with that. The injury. Yeah. It's tough at times. Oh yeah. And I will say I'm around them a little bit. I do, whether it's practice or I'll pop in their meeting probably a little bit more. But I feel awesome about our Brian Lingren's our offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, does a great job. And so that's actually made it easier to not be around as much, knowing how well he does with them. No, not yet. He's probably going to come and try. But now that I get this head coach title, I don't get kicked out. Oh gosh, yeah, a lot. Time, the amount of time that it takes, trust. You got to just trust a lot of people around you. You can't know or be engaged in every activity that's taking place. You just got to surround yourself with some really good people, and I think I did that. I feel awesome about our staff, support staff, and so. But the amount of time, it goes quick.
John,
How much you learn from Dennis Erickson and Coach Pete and how they lead on that?
Not a ton, meaning calls like throughout the year or anything, but I learned a ton from those guys. And I think you take pieces from each guy you've been around, and not just the head coaches you've been around, some of the assistants I've worked with, and then you try to create and make it your own.
John, what do you?
I think we're going to be better. We need to be better in run defense. I mean, our run defense last year was not a good, and that needs to improve. We've made some adjustments, whether it's personnel, growth, tweaked some schemes. I think we'll be better there.
John, what are your thoughts on the changes to the targeting rule, both the elimination of the stands
Good.
upon review and the progressive penalty for three-time offenders?
Yeah, I think it's good, especially it is or it isn't. It's one of the two. I like that clarity that comes with it. I like that it's going to get reviewed, and they have to find it. So I like that change. Didn't love the whatever it was last year. Possibly got thrown, couldn't confirm, but the penalty sticks and all this. I think there's more clarity.
With that said, whether it's targeting or not, the commissioner was just talking about the officiating review and the findings of civil consulting. Some of the findings he didn't discuss in his remarks, but that are in the report that are out there publicly, talk about a lack of concise communication from officiating to the coaches specifically. That you guys would be posing questions and weren't getting concise answers. Was that, even in your 1 year as head coach last year, a point of frustration in that were there calls that you asked for, hey, what should have happened here? Was this right or wrong? Or what should we be doing to coach this properly, and you weren't getting concise answers?
Right. Let me say this about the whole thing. I thought the thing was really good. Like the communication, Simpson talked to all of us. Like I sat on the phone with a while with him about all kinds of different issues. And I like the approach we're taking of, yeah, we're going to take a look at this and try to improve it. I didn't have drastic frustrations on the communication end last year, but I know we're always looking to improve as a conference, and we are.
But whether it was targeting or any other call, when a call is being reviewed, to what level of confidence do you have that the result will be the right result right now in this?
I'm pretty confident. I really am. I mean, you're sitting there watching the review in the stadium itself. We got some good people working in there, and I feel confident. Yeah, well, you talk about identity. The type of kid that we're looking for that fits our place is looking to go and play some big-time football at a great school where they can have ultimate college town experience, you know, and really develop to go to the next level. Because you come to our place, awesome college town, big-time ball, you can focus on school and football, the two most important things. I don't think there's anywhere in the country better than that setup for us. And then we're looking for a competitive, really, roster. And so each individual being on that ultimate competition end as they come and develop. Well, it's a lot sooner. I mean, everything's just sooner now in the process because of the calendar and the way the early signing date really starts. Then January is the evaluation earlier. I know it's a contact period, but then you can bring them in on visits May, June. So everything's just sped up. And at the same time, it creates some opportunities for, like, a lot of people are going fast. Well, let's hold a couple of them because some guys really develop their senior year. You know, that used to be back in the day. You had to be a big-time senior year to go to college. Well, there's still some guys that, you know, grow a little differently and have big-time senior years. We want to have some spots for them. I think it can benefit us. I mean, just because we're not probably going to fill up in the middle of summer intentionally. So I think it can. Yeah, I think every year can be different. Every year is new. I think the thing's a little cyclical. And yeah, the last couple of years, the league's been pretty competitive. We've had some good teams, just not one of the top 4 teams in the country. And so we're not alone in that. I think we've got a chance to do it. But it's a gauntlet of, you know, playing 9 conference games is not easy. But we got some really good teams in this league, and we've had the last couple of years. Just because we weren't in the playoff don't mean they weren't any good. Well, I mean, they got to go. We've got some, I think, some rosters that are capable of doing it. They got to win 9 conference games and go unblemished. But with some of the people, you know, where UW has been and continue to improve, the Ducks where they're at with that quarterback, Justin's an unbelievable player. I think the way Utah plays defense, and they got a lot of players coming back. Both LA schools always got some real talent and got some big-time coaches. I mean, yeah, so there's reasons all those schools can get in.
Coach, probably not something you want to revisit, but Benjamin had, I think, about 300 yards rushing last year against your team.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah.
What stood out to you about him or that performance?
Well, I think he runs hard and he's natural with it, making guys miss, breaking some tackles, finishing runs. He's got some good speed, and they consistently gave it to him, which I would too if he's getting those kind of yards.
And what do you think about your team's capability against the run this year, building off?
It's been a point of emphasis. We needed to get better. It starts up front, and so we needed to grow and add to our defensive front, and that's taken place. And we got to be better tacklers in space. I mean, we just got to do it. So we've been working on that. We did look at adding to or tweaking some schemes defensively to help against the run. And so with all of that, confident we're going to be better against them.
Jonathan, last year you guys obviously opened at the Big House. This year you have a Power 5 team coming to Corvallis. Has that been kind of a motivator for the guys during the summer, during workouts, to have that kind of opportunity at home?
I know guys are excited about it to be a night game at home to start the season. Great opponent, coming from a good distance, and got a ton of respect for them. So, yeah, I feel better about this setup than last year's game. Not that last year's game wasn't a good experience for the kids traveling, but to open at home with a fresh start, new season, there's excitement.
Where are you right now with your quarterback competition?
We're going to let those guys continue to compete, just like we're doing at every position. And we're not naming every position starters right now, which I think is healthy, and which I think the approach both Tristan and Jake have taken is it's improved their game. So we're going to let those guys go for a bit in camp.
Obviously, you have some all-conference players on offense and 2 offensive guys here. Do you feel that side of the ball is progressing, and where do you see that side taking a step this year?
You're talking about offensively?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because we got a lot of returning players, and we've added, whether it's been youngsters that redshirted last year, or Tyjon Lindsey and Tristan, we need our offense to take a step. We did some things for sure, offensively last year, but that needs to get better if we want to win the games we want to win.
Yeah. And defensively, who are some new additions or guys that have matured that can make a difference on that side?
Well, A.B. Roberts to start was not eligible to play for us last year. We're counting on him being a productive tackler for us inside. Addison Gums was another player that we added last year, was not eligible to play, plus he was coming off injury, really to help us rush the passer and be on the edge. And so those 2 guys are kind of the newer additions. And then you look at, we got a lot in the secondary coming back. David Morris is a guy that had been injured, played as a true freshman, injured all of really last year, coming back healthy. And then Jordan Whitley and Simon Sandberg, defensive lineman, junior college-wise, that we think make us better up front already. And then we had some younger guys that are back that need to be better. So that's where I'm just confident that we will take a step if those guys keep working.
When you look at the North, obviously Oregon and Washington are virtually tied in terms of the poll, and Washington State, what they did last year, even Cal with Wilcox. How competitive is it, and how hard is it to move up that ladder?
It's tough. It really is. I mean, you're talking about some good programs, some good coaches that have done it for the last few years. Because I do. I look at like the Ducks, starting with that quarterback coming back. Justin's a really good player. Anytime you got that type of quarterback, you got a chance to be pretty good. What UW has done I've been around it the last 3-4 years. They're reloading over there. Mike Leach at Washington State, and that style of offense, and really the scheme defensively, they know how to get things done. So impressed with Justin. Really, like, when he took that job over at Cal, defense looks totally different. And so that's why I'm optimistic on our end. We can make things look different year 2. And so, and then Stanford, I got a great amount of respect for him. Like the challenge, because it is a challenge. I think it's good that it's competitive, that anybody can get up there, and then we do got some balance. I think top to bottom. I mean, week in and week out in this league, you got to bring your A game, or are you going to get beat? I don't care who we're talking about, which 2 teams. And so I think it makes it exciting. And but we got some. I do look at Utah. I think they were picked to win it. They got some good players. Kyle does an unbelievable job for a long time now. And I think each year is new, so I'm looking forward to it.
We've got about 5 minutes remaining with Oregon State. 5 minutes remaining with Oregon State.
No, I'm definitely not hands-on. There are some big picture items early on that I kind of liked defensively because I know what it did to us offensively. But I got great confidence in the group of coaches we got over there and the way they work and the way they teach their guys, not just the scheme we're running. And so I'll give them some insights, though. I'll say, like, hey, when you did this, I think that makes it hard on offense. Some small tidbits, but I'm definitely hands-off. Yeah, a lot. He's really detailed, and he's detailed, but makes it really simple on those guys so they can go play fast and let their talent take over. He gets them always working as a group. There's not a bunch of individuals in there worried about just themselves. They're always a unit. They're working together. Does a great job of that. And he's good schematically. Like, he can break down an offense and see what their tendencies and their strengths and weaknesses and more or less attack them. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, because I saw the work he did in the secondary. I was looking for some of those attributes when we're hiring, which we did. I mean, we feel awesome. Blue Adams, our DB coach, does a great job. He actually knows Jimmy really well. He was playing at Tampa Bay when Jimmy was coaching. And so they got similar terminology and feel good about him.